Yes, people, welcome to the very first Afterwatch of 2026. Hopefully we'll be the first one on YouTube, so keep your eye on that. But as always, on the Afterwatch, I come and watch your favorite films or the latest films that come out, either by myself or with a friend. And then right afterwards, we debrief and talk about everything that we saw and just what we think about the film. Now, I know the person sitting next to me, you've seen a couple times before.
Can't get rid of me.
You can't get rid of him. To be honest, I asked him to come because I thought it was quite apt that the first person I spoke to on the Afterwatch would be the first person I speak to this year. So it's worked out perfectly. But Luke, welcome back.
Glad to be back, mate. It's good to see you.
Yeah, man.
And Happy New Year as well.
Happy New Year. We made it to the other side.
I know. It's just nice to have like a relaxing Christmas and New Year.
Yeah, same. Money was still spent though, unfortunately. Well,
getting this, I don't know how I've got this far in January.
Yeah, same.
I'm literally looking for little coins on the sofa. That's what I was doing whilst you were setting up. Just seeing if there's something down here.
To be fair, cinema helps because it keeps me from doing anything too expensive. The most expensive thing I've got to pay for at the cinema is the popcorn.
Exactly. Well,
the
most expensive thing I pay for at the cinema is just the ticket.
Okay, see.
Tesco's popcorn all the way.
Okay, see, we're different. But yeah, so today we went to go and watch 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, next installment in the 28 Years Later franchise. Obviously, you've been here before, so let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
Fresh out of the cinema, what do you think of the movie?
I thought it was a fantastic film, to be honest. Going from 28 days and 28 weeks later to 28 years later and 28 years later, The Bone Temple, there's a significant shift on when you go from 28 years and 28 years Bone Temple. Just on the tone, it doesn't lean as much into the horror, but it's a little bit more into the storyline. It's developing these new characters. And the new characters continue on with The Bone Temple too. But Ray Fiennes, consistent as always. Like, when is that man going to get an Oscar?
I have no
like,
idea.
he is absolutely fantastic.
He's smoked in this movie. Absolutely.
Well, we don't allowed to do spoilers this early?
Yeah. As you know, we do spoilers. So,
okay, we do spoilers then. But his relationship with Samson throughout this film, it just made me feel like me feel like there was a bromance going.
Yeah, it was.
It was a bromance. There was a bromance going throughout the film. But it's just, you brought back that classic Danny Boyle shake cam where it's just like the personal camera's coming out of it. But it brings that feelings of intensity throughout the film. And it's just, Spike is another fantastic character.
Yeah.
You feel his vulnerability, you want him to do well, but he's constantly in bad situations. But all in all, I thought it was a fantastic film.
I completely...
It's a great way to start for 2026.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I've been looking forward to this movie for a while. I knew for the Afterwatch I wanted to do this movie in particular because like, it's a big release. I've heard amazing things about this movie as well. Like, a lot of people that I know who've seen it said it's really good. So I really wanted to come and see this and actually talk to somebody about it. So you've seen all the previous movies thus far.
Yeah.
Like, focusing on, I guess, the immediate predecessor, so 28 years later, how do you feel like the tone, or does the tone shift for you between the two films?
I think it continues on the tone that it had from 28 years later. Like, there's a bit of a shift from 28 weeks to 28 years, but I think the director's trying to understand that there's a level of expectation that viewers will have from those films from, I think it was like well over a decade ago.
Well, the first one, we're talking like, I feel like 2003 or something like that. 2003, something like that.
Exactly. So the expectation is that they're going to have like a horror expectation coming into that film. So they start off with that, and you've got Aaron Taylor-Johnson and his son going back and forth between the islands in 28 years later, and that's a consistent theme throughout the first part of that film. But then with this, you start off with that, the expectation is there, and then that's immediately dismantled. You've got this relationship, you see the red eyes of Samson, it's just like you get someone's head ripped off and crushed. How brutal was that?
First 10 minutes, it was crazy. The whole face was just kind of like...
Usually I'm fine with gore, but good grief, the special effects on that was just absolutely fantastic.
No, I don't know if you noticed, like, during the gore moments, I was a bit like...
I could see this man was...
I'm not good at it. I know when it's coming, so I just prepare myself mentally.
No, it's fine. I watched, and I probably shouldn't have, because I just saw like a grown man's skull just get crushed in, and it was just like it was a bit too much, but it was still absolutely fantastic. But you can see, you go from that level of severity, and then it almost gets brought into another world when Ray Fiennes steps into the picture, and then you have like a bit of interest and intrigue about the situation, and go, okay, is there something that could happen? Because we've had three films before this where there's been no real progression of the virus going
Yeah,
away.
true. I think.
And
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, because I think one of the things that I noticed about this movie was like, this movie was almost exposition free.
Yes.
Like,
it's just you're put straight into
it, and it was just so atmospheric. Like,
yeah,
you're just put into this world, and we're just watching these people live their lives. There wasn't like, clearly there's a narrative and something driving the story, but there were moments where you almost feel like a voyeur, and you're just watching these guys just.
See, I love films like that, because when the director understands that you've had he knows he's bringing fans of the film back into this, and he's almost giving you service and saying, look, I know you've come here specifically for this film. I don't need to give you all of the bullshit around it. You know the world. You know why you love it. You know the storyline that I can tell. Here's the action straight into it. Yeah. And that's what he does with the Spike situation with Jack O'Connell and with Ray Fiennes and Samson at the same time.
Yeah. It's crazy how this film was really focused around those like 4 groups of people. So you've got Samson, you've got Ray Fiennes' character, the doctor, whose name I can't remember right now.
I can't remember either.
Yeah, then you've got Spike and that like the Jimmy gang.
Jimmy, yeah.
Like, so it's not even 4, it's 3 and you've got all these interwoven stories happening, but it's still quite self-contained.
Yes,
in a strange way. Like, it's crazy.
Well, at the same time, it's only a few locations. It's still going back to 28 years later locations, because it's going back to the Bone Temple. It's going around to a few houses in the forest as well. So it's amazing that you can tell such a detailed story, but still keep it to only a small amount of locations.
For sure. How do you feel, how do you feel about Spike's portrayal in comparison to the first film?
There's definitely character development with it. I'm pretty pleased with it, to be honest, because he's gone. You can see how he's still in shell shock from, we've been ripped straight from the end of the last film straight into this one, and he's still dealing with the shell shock of losing his upbringing, losing his dad, losing his mum, losing every way that he knows, and then he's being pushed into this new world with Jack O'Connell or the other Jimmys. And now he's being forced to fight for his life.
He's kind of still
where the odds are stacked against him.
He's still a victim, which is crazy, right? Like, in the first movie, he doesn't really mess with his dad. Like, sees his dad's up to no good. His mum's suffering. She's like dying, and is brave enough to take her on this journey to try and get her healed. Discovered there's no cure for her, and allows her to pass on in the way, and then brings the baby back that she delivered, Samson's baby, even we think anyway, back to the village, and then just goes off on his own. But then ends up getting cornered by a different kind of threat, like with this Jimmy gang, who have like low-key saved his life by the end of the first movie, but have now kind of forced him under their wing.
Become his new family.
Unwillingly.
But he does almost, his character does almost sort of regress in that same facet as well. Like, so. he finds the new family, and he almost goes into his shell more. But I mean, under awful circumstances. So it's understandable. Like, if I was put in those circumstances, I'd regress too.
Of course.
But it's almost one of the other Jimmys almost takes a sort of maternal figure for him, and even says in one of the scenes, just like, if you come with me, you'll be good. And maybe that is. It's a good point, actually. I didn't really think about it like that. Maybe that is where he's looking for a more maternal figure, and he finds it in the wrong crowd. But you can see that he's always trying to pull away, but doesn't really have the strength to do so, and that's another point, actually. Like, he even tries to find that maternal figure in the
pregnant
woman
lady.
The pregnant lady. Oh my gosh. Films are so fucking good.
They just love it.
Layers to this. Sorry if it seems like I'm slow, but it just came out of the film.
No, but we literally left the cinema half an hour ago. Like, literally. So it's crazy. Like, I think that both regression and progression of his character, I really enjoyed seeing, and the actor playing him really enjoyed his performance in this as well. Like, he had the amount of fear in this kid's eyes, especially you can see through his mask in certain moments. It's like, I'm living it with him.
I'm on the journey with you. Like, you can see the pain in his face, and you conveyed it so well. He looked distraught. He looked disheveled. Like, he looked shaken, and he still kept that sense of innocence around him too. It was a really great performance.
No, for sure. And like, in terms of like the narrative then itself, do you feel like this one is a bit riskier in terms of the choices that it makes? in comparison to the first movie?
100% definitely. Because like I touched on earlier, you're asking fans who are usually devout horror fans to go along with the journey of you just telling a completely different story from what the first one set out to do. Like the first one, it's a lot of jump scares, there's a lot of intense scenes. Like you still have intense scenes in Bone Temples, but the tension is built in a different kind of way. Like the tension's built from Samson's going on this journey. Is he actually going to progress to becoming human again?
Yeah, or if not human, what next?
Exactly.
Like,
what is the evolution of that character? And you're building tension through, is Spike able to get away from these awful people? It's just like, is this awfulness always going to hang around in the UK like forever? Is it always going to perpetuate? And it's a different type of tension, and there's still horror and gore within the film, but it's a completely different type, and I think it works for it.
I think so too.
Because the storytelling, the direction, and you've still got some of the same storytelling that you've got in the first one, so you can still have the payoff of having it with the Bone Tale.
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely saw similarities in terms of its storytelling to the very first movie.
Yeah.
Like exactly as you said, this movie wasn't really focused on the traditional elements that make up a horror movie, which, as all of you lot know, is perfect for me. I hate horror movies. You don't know I'm a wimp. I don't do it. But
he did well. He did well.
So, but this one really focuses on the people living in this world, and then also depicting not just the zombies as the monsters, but also the humans who are still living in this world.
Exactly.
Also being there.
Exactly, because that's true of real life as well.
Yeah.
You can find horrific people, you can find horror in real life story, and that's what it was trying to show in this film too. Like, we don't have to have a virus enraging every part of our body in order to find a horrific part in life, and people can relate to that even more, and I felt like I related to that in that film too. It's just, you can get, well, certainly how society is right now, you can have horrific individuals leading people like a cult and following them in a cultish way, and I thought that was quite poignant of what they pointed on by Cillian Murphy at the end, but that's another point. But you can have horrific people having a load of cultish people following them in a certain kind of way, and they can lead to horrific acts. Like, look at the news daily. Without getting too political. And I think that Danny Boyle is a very creative director, and he always manages to link it back to real life society, and I think this is another way that he's doing that.
I think he did the first one. 28 years later, I think Alex Garland wrote that one. He wrote this one, but I think Nia DaCosta did this movie.
Okay.
Yeah, Nia DaCosta I think did this movie, and she's separate issue. She's been on a crazy run as well, like crazy run of like blockbuster movies that she's done recently, but I think you're right. The framework was set there by Danny Boyle, right? It's been set there for people to kind of follow it and really incorporate real life topics and real life narratives into this movie, which is absolutely incredible. I think your point on dangerous people using, inspiring rhetoric on people who are desperate in probably the most desperate situation you could even think of, right?
Or even using religion.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
in a way to better their own means. Because what was a real good point as well is when Jack O'Connell's Jimmy came to the Bone Temple, and then you had the disparity between atheism and religion, but it was almost religious extremism being used as grounded science. And when he was faced with grounded science, he even started questioning his own religious extremism, and then he started even questioning his own reality to whether he was actually a son of Satan, and where his dad actually was, and what he was actually seeing. But then it was immediately taken away when he started thinking about his cult again.
He made his choice.
He made his choice, and
he had a choice to make, and his choice was he would rather remain in control and use the situation to not only stay in control but reaffirm his believers' belief in him.
Exactly.
Which again we've seen that happen in real life.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
So no, I thought it was really, really well done. I loved the fact as well that this cult was Jimmy Savile. Essentially.
Do you know what? I didn't even recognize that until like the third quarter. I should have recognized it.
Because I think when you realize, like, when the movie is set, right, like, the world hadn't discovered who Jimmy Savile was and what he had been doing and the harm he'd been doing, right? So imagine the world stops at a point where he is the guy.
Still the guy, yeah, that's a good point, actually.
And now people who are still alive only have a memory of this person who was just completely revered. But to us, the audience who obviously learned what was happening, we see the sinister and kind
Aspects
of
to it,
menace to it as well, which I thought having them dressed like him was really, really poignant.
And it's a perfect encapsulation of what those characters were as well. Like they were jovial, they were just kicking around, having a bit of fun. But then you
laughing about the Teletubbies.
Exactly, you're doing a funny dance. But the one who was even doing the dance of the Teletubbies, she was
the most brutal.
Exactly.
It was like it reminded me of like Clockwork Orange in moments.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Like you see how like she was like the way she was dancing, doing the Teletubbies dance, something you think is like cute and innocent and sweet. That's the memories.
But it becomes even more insidious when you consider the situation around it.
Yeah, and what was gonna come.
Because that kind of infancy shouldn't be in that horrible kind of situation.
Exactly.
I completely agree.
Absolutely loved it.
Like, what parts of the films really stuck out for you then?
I think I loved the dialogue between the Doctor, Ray Fiennes' character, and Jack O'Connell. When they sat down and were talking about the religion and stuff.
I like that too because it was a complete change of pace.
Yeah, very much so. And it showed the Doctor's capacity for connection and understanding and his willingness to be open and learn.
You could see his training coming in. You could see it coming in. That's immediately what I thought when I saw it. I was like, this is Dr. Brain completely switched on. He's aware of the threat. He's aware of what potentially could happen.
And he's managing it.
And he's still managing it
through that conversation.
And it was almost like a sense of realism. It was also a sense of the real world coming back into that post-apocalyptic world.
Exactly. And especially like there's two things to it as well, because if you compare how he was with Samson, who is quote unquote the monster, who he completely let his guard up around, like he was doing the same drugs that Samson was, he was able to go to sleep around Samson, the quote unquote
just infected
monster, two guys just chilling,
two guys just trying to have a good time,
dancing around
just
with
two
their
bros
tops off and stuff. But around Jimmy, he was on edge, he was alert,
tense,
do you know what I mean? I love that juxtaposition. And then just seeing Jack O'Connell completely switch. Like he went from showing a little bit of vulnerability, telling him about his life.
And it was the first vulnerability that you'd seen as well.
At all from him. And then all of a sudden he's like, but if you don't do this, like your life is done.
But it also showed that he'd also basically made his own coffin. Because in that moment he's confessing his vulnerabilities to a complete stranger rather than these devotees following him. Like you would have thought that you'd have some of your closest friends or allies within the group that you've been cultivating for years and years and years, but he couldn't even be himself with the people that he's created this cult atmosphere with.
But he said it though, right? He said it. He was like,
I'm going to have to do this.
No, when he was talking to the Doctor, he was like, you're the first person, I like you, you're the first person I think I've ever liked. The people around him, he doesn't view them as friends, they're his objects, tools for what he wants out of the situation, which is just basically carnage, right? But even in that small moment, the Doctor can still connect to him, which I get, and again, remember how we were introduced to the Doctor in 28 years later. He was this weird being that the people in the village didn't want Spike to go near
with the bodies,
and was doing everything crazy. But
I mean, still, it is pretty, even though it is a memorial, it's pretty fucking crazy.
Very, very crazy.
Could you imagine burning down that many bodies and taking the flesh off that? It would stink and it would be laborious, and you've still got to stack them up. And he's done a fucking great job of it.
Amazing job. But the temple itself almost felt like its own character.
It did, it did.
You know what I mean? Like, you watch it and you see it, and it just has
incredible.
This presence.
It's incredible prop work that's gone into it as well.
Very much so.
Because when I know a lot is shot around it, but even if you're looking off camera and you're seeing all the design off to the side, it was intricate work. It was really detailed. It was fantastic to see.
No, I mean, and I think we got to see a lot more of it in this film than we did in the last one.
We did.
I feel like. And also that scene when he was like putting on the show.
Oh, it was fantastic, wasn't it?
Absolutely amazing. Like,
rocking the hell out of Iron Maiden.
Oh my gosh, I've got to go find a song. Like, that's not my music at all, but I like it.
It's not mine either, but I could certainly jam to it.
Do you know what I mean? I really like it now. So, how do you feel about the ending of the movie? Like, I've seen like early conversations around people, and I think the ending and how it ends is dividing people.
Okay,
like, what do you think about it?
Well, the way I've watched films now, I try to get as little as possible information about. If I know I'm going to watch a film that I know I'm going to, if I know I'm going to see a film anyway, I try to get as little information around it as possible. So I don't want to get too many trailers. I'll watch like one, but I don't want to have too much information. I don't want to get any reviews or anything like that. So I was completely unaware of the ending situation coming into it. I felt like a little bit of a chill coming when I saw Cillian Murphy come on to the scene.
Me too.
I thought it was a nice little touch because you didn't have him like since the first film.
The very first film. Yeah, and like
so it's not like they're doing this just for the sake of just bringing back an old character. Like the audience is already there with 28 years later and the film we just watched, and they've also shown that they can create great films off the back of the franchise as well, with stellar British casts as well. So they don't need him. But
it's true.
If he wants to be involved again, I'm absolutely all for it.
I think the fans want it.
And if the fans want it.
Yeah, because I wanted it. Like, I mean, I wouldn't even call myself the biggest fan, but I definitely wanted to see him back in this franchise again. He was one of the best things of the first movie.
He was, yeah.
You know, and I knew it was him when I saw the house.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's how the first film ended. I was just surprised that they were still there, because if memory serves me correctly, the last film ends with them like burning a message into the.
Oh gosh, you're really testing my memory here.
Yeah.
I think it was.
I just remember a plane flying over and them like putting together this little message.
I'm going to go with what you're saying because that sounds correct.
Yeah, but
nobody checked for me.
But yeah, I was so happy.
I was really encapsulated by it. I thought it was great. I also thought the Samson having his first word was fantastic.
Oh my gosh, yeah, how do I forget about that?
I know, like literally, I did think he was going to do like a almost murder-suicide thing, and then my expectations of that scene, I thought he was going to kill him, and then he was going to try it on himself, and he couldn't do it because he saw Samson writhing in pain.
Okay.
But then to have the moon moment, I was shocked.
Yeah,
I almost grabbed.
Same. Actually, everyone in the cinema. Yeah. People were like, "Oh my gosh!"
But it was that, and then having the whole train scene.
The backstory.
That was dope. That was brilliant.
Yeah,
that was brilliant. Seeing his transition from child to man to him becoming human or something more again. Yeah. But still having that like brute strength.
Yeah. He's regaining. We saw him regain his humanity. Yeah. Slowly. And I loved how it was represented in his eyes.
Yes. You could see the red fading away. And then slowly turning to dark brown from the brilliant red. It was fantastic.
So cool. I'm really excited to see how Samson's story continues.
I don't even know where they can go with it, to be honest. It's just...
Well, he's sentient now.
Yeah. Right? But he's also... he's immune.
Yeah,
he's immune. Yeah. But you had the fight scene where they were taking like literal lumps out of him, and he came out the victor.
Yeah, and that when he come out of the train, listen, that was nuts.
It was nuts.
Like there's so when you think there's so much religious iconography, because that moment when he comes out of the train, like
almost felt ethereal, didn't it?
Yeah, very much so. You just see him doused in blood.
Well, there is a lot of religious iconography like throughout the film. And I think that is done purposely.
Yeah, of course.
And you've got Jimmy hanging upside down on the crucifix, but that was blatant. You've got Samson coming through as the devil, but
even his name.
But also the religious iconography of someone carrying Jesus' body outside from the crucifixion. Exactly as well.
That's true, because that's basically what he's done. He's essentially discovered a cure,
a savior, and
administered it. And Samson could, in theory, be the person that cures.
He just needs to survive.
But he's an alpha.
He is an alpha.
Yeah, he's an alpha.
He's only one alpha.
True.
Yeah.
True. He's the only alpha we've seen.
Exactly.
He's the only alpha we've seen. Do you know what's crazy though? Yeah, going back to this film.
Go on.
Because if I was Spike, I'm going back home. I'll be honest.
I did. Do you know what? I did think that. But he did try to. He tried
to escape
one time.
Yeah, but I was like, is it worth it? I know your dad's doing hanky panky with the mistress and whatever.
Exactly, but it can't be as bad as it is out here.
I'm going back to the
I'm literally seeing someone getting skin from their chest, and I'm like, oh, do you know what? I could probably deal with my dad cheating on my match.
At that point, I'm like, let's go. It's time.
Do you know what? It was a bit cold up towards the. Where was it? It was like north of Scotland, wasn't it?
Somewhere.
It was somewhere like
massive path in that you can only see in the time.
Do you know what? I hate the cold, but I would deal with the cold.
I would have taken that pregnant lady too. That's the negotiation technique. Like, if you want me to come with you, I can take you to sanctuary, an actual safe haven where they'll let you in.
I mean, to be fair, she probably made the right decision as
Probably.
well. I'm not about to take some random guy on who's just hung up and drawn my friends and family.
He didn't do anything.
But he was there.
But he was. What do you want him to do? He's like 11. Okay, he's like 14. Whatever old he is. He's not going to be able to stop all of them.
But she probably wasn't seeing it with that much clarity.
Of course, I hear it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, survival in it.
Absolutely,
that's what I would have done.
But that's what makes the storyline so brutal as well, because people are making these snap decisions, and they're heavy decisions as well. And you've got survivorship, you've got people fighting for each other's supplies, or just fighting for pure anarchy. And it's just people making their own weird way in the world, because there's no rules anymore as well. So what even makes sense in those kind of worlds?
And that woman was a survivor. She ran and 3 times.
Pregnant survivor.
When we first meet her, the guy that she's with she tells him not to do it. He doesn't listen. She's like, let's go. We're running straight away. Gets to the house, everything, all the shit is the fan. She's out. She's the only one that escapes. And then again, she manages to set everybody on fire and then just gone. I rate it. I'm just saying priorities. Priorities. But I rate it. Okay, cool. I mean, so what about you then? Was there anything particular, anything that you enjoyed particularly about this movie?
With the Danny Boyle films, I always love the cinematography that goes through it, particularly the stuff when, particularly the framing when they has the time lapses of the Bone Temple. I know it wasn't even a particularly big site, but you saw different angles of it. You saw the time lapses. You saw close-ups on the bones. You saw the bones lit up in all its magnificence with the candles being laid throughout the spire. And then you have Ray Fiennes doing the performance through Iron Maiden. And that's all just done on one set.
That was beautiful.
It was gorgeous. And then he had the welder's outfit on. He had the dark eye makeup, on, and it felt like. Well, I know he blew some sort of
psychedelic.
Some sort of psychedelics in the Jimmy's face, but it felt like you were on a trip with them.
Very
and
much
it's just, and that was almost the perfect way to end walking away from the Bone Temple as well. You've got the sacrificial lamb on the satanic cross walking away with Big Samson, who's also another biblical figure in the name. But it was more the cinematography of the Bone Temple. I thought it was just gorgeous.
Yeah, it was. No, for sure. I've got to also say something about the music that was
as well. Yeah.
I feel like the actual, I guess trying to figure out to frame it, but the way that drug use or using of drugs as medicine was prevalent throughout. Then you had this soundtrack which felt like the drug users playlist.
It does.
I feel like all the songs I've seen in other films in moments where people are using drugs. I really got that that connection to those moments.
Do you know what? It was also I know we're talking about a lot of religious iconography throughout the film, but it also, come to think of it, it was also talking about the potential and the promise of therapeutic sessions as well, because you've got drug-induced therapy to improve on psychosis. Just talking through that psychological connection between Jack O'Connell's character and Ray Fiennes' character, but it was also for the betterment of the character too. Like Samson improved, you saw improvement in Jack O'Connell's Jimmy's character as well, and it was just one that came when you spoke specifically about the music, because you can also use music as therapy as well.
Also true, and that was his. That was his.
And that was a good point. Yeah, that was his thing. He was using Duran Duran. He was using Iron Maiden. Did George Michael come into that? No, I don't think I did.
I don't know.
No, I don't think I did.
I know the songs. I don't know the artist.
But Duran Duran, great song.
100%. And also, I think considering he's isolated, you can tell that music is something that helps him stay connected and lucid.
Exactly.
I was wondering, imagine living for 23 years,
oh my gosh, by yourself. I couldn't do it.
And you're building this temple but you're by yourself for the majority of the time. Yet, the person who was most alone was the person who had the most connection.
And the most sanity.
Yeah, and the most sanity.
Because, that's a very good point as well. He gave himself purpose, he gave himself meaning, and he was always trying to find something more, but he still was holding on to some of the relics of the older life that gave him a connection to that old life. But what was funny though, when he started talking about that old life, even though he still had relics of it, he couldn't remember it.
Yeah, that's crazy. So it shows just how much we hold value in today's society. So the stuff you couldn't even remember, owning a telephone, having your own PC, like material objects, didn't really mean anything.
But what were the things that survived? The music.
Yeah.
So things that generate good feeling in you as well, and that kind of kindness that came through. He was like, there was an order that he didn't think would ever really fail, but look where we are now.
Yeah.
And I think that's, oh gosh, you could throw a mirror up against society now. Like I run through my life, and people run through their lives, and you don't think that society could ever fail. But then you look to different parts of the world where society is much worse than what we have right now, and it only takes like one big event for it to go off, and then everything to flip on its head.
Well, look, we kind of lived it in 2020.
Yeah, we did.
Do you know what I mean? So nothing like this scale, but
not quite. Yeah. No Samsons around yet. No, I'm still aspiring. So
same. small in my heart. But it's that's what I love about film. It's crazy how much you can connect to your life, real life, just through the power of storytelling.
Oh man, but that's what being human is as well. It's you go through life, you tell your own experiences through storytelling, and that's what makes film such a beautiful medium. Is because you can see these beautiful creative geniuses bring so many great stories to the big screen.
Yeah, no, I love it. These sorts of moments are the best part of watching a good movie.
Yeah,
we just need more good movies.
Oh, often, yeah. Keep this kind of shit going.
Yeah, this is the kind of sequel I want is something like this.
See, that's why I don't mind the ending, because I know I'm getting another one. And I've enjoyed the past. Well, I've enjoyed every single one.
Yeah, me too. Who would have known? Who would have known? Little old me looking forward to the next zombie movie that's coming out in the franchise. It's crazy.
We'll get him on Freddy versus Jason.
Nah, chill out. We're not doing that. Okay, cool. So I guess moving on from film then, like, I know your favourite films of last year was what? One Battle After Another and Sinners were like your top two. So like, because I feel like we come out of 2025 in quite a healthy space in terms of cinema, in terms of the quality of movies we've got in, originality, different kind of stories. But what's your thoughts on kind of how we ended 2025?
It does feel like we're in a healthy space in cinema right now. Like you said when we were talking before this, you said you went to Marty Supreme, and even trying to get tickets.
Yeah, insane.
It was just it was packed up, and that's what I love to see. Like I grew up when I went to go see the prequel Star Wars. Like you saw people dressed up in like Darth Vader outfits, and like this film was packed, and it was just nice to see. And then you have something to talk about with other people as well, and because it is an art form and it is an expression of the soul too, and it's a very accessible way of seeing storytelling and seeing that art form too. So to see people like Timothée Chalamet pushing it up at the moment and doing all sorts of random promotion, but I'm all for it. It brings attention. It brings bums on seats, and brings the right kind of bums on seats. But seeing his representation and his dedication to the craft, it's really inspiring too, because we've also seen in the same year, like Netflix, or the rumor coming out that Netflix are trying to create like TV series or films that are going for a specific type of audience where they're not really paying attention.
Yeah, the second screen issue,
what is that? I don't want to see that kind. Well, obviously there's a market for a certain type of film. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I love Godzilla versus Kong. So not every film needs you to think deeply about it. But when we're getting to a point where like a major organizer is talking about diluting a lot of films, it's just I think we're in trouble. But if we've got films like The Bone Collector, Marty Supreme, like Sinners and One Battle After Another, Hamnet as well. I went to see that recently.
Loved Hamnet.
It feels like we're in a very good space. I know that we're in a good stage of the year for film as well, because you've got a lot of the films vying for Oscar nominations and that kind of thing. So it typically does feel a little bit better at this time of the year, but it does generally feel a lot better than it has done in previous years. I'd
100% agree. I'd 100% agree. Like it's weird to be in January and have so much like heat coming out this month. Like January tends to be kind of the stragglers, right? Yeah,
because you've got the Christmas slots.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the cinemas know that everyone's going to have a little bit more free time.
Exactly. But in this Jan, we've had Hamnet come out last week. We've had Bone Collector come out this week. We've got Rental Family coming out this week. We've got No Other Choice next week. Like there's so many good films coming out in Jan, which is so insane. But like, yeah, I really am excited to see what this year is gonna look like. And do you know what? Like I would argue as well, like in reference to your point about second screen and stuff. Like I think there's a place for it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, don't kill me. I'm a second screener at times. I watch the stuff that needs to be watched with intent to consume it properly, and I give it the time and space for it. Which is why like certain shows take me longer to get through because I want to give it the time and space.
Yeah,
to
no,
really
no,
take it in.
I do appreciate that.
But
yeah.
then there's like, but then there's other shows which I could watch whilst I'm working, and I just want background noise. I'd have to work too hard. I think the issue that I'm finding is when
are we getting too much of it? Yeah, are we getting too much of it? Yeah.
And shows that should be really good are getting that treatment. So the quality starts to feel like it's lowering significantly, which I really hope changes in the near future. I think I'm hoping that we're getting a rise of more media literate viewership.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know how true that is. When I see the internet, you don't know.
But well, it's a very good point as well, because when you have like a more media literate viewership, you're also demanding more of the producers as well, because they will switch off from it, because they'll be like, okay, there is a time and place for it, but I'm not always going to watch that because I want something more. I want something a bit more stimulating. I want to be challenged. I want to think a little bit more about what I'm watching, or I just won't devote any time to it and I'll switch off from it.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's too many things that are made to be bingeable right now, and binging something is great. Like, I'm a very impatient person, so being honest, being able to watch something in one fell swoop when I want to feels very convenient to me. I like it.
Yeah.
But also, at times, force me to really take it in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
demand my attention.
Yeah, exactly. Because people do respond to it, and I think that's what we're starting to see a lot more in TV. We're seeing it a lot more in movies. People want to see things that's going to grab your attention, that feel intentional as well, and there's thought in every decision that they make. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and that's how we get movies like Sinners, like the one Battle After Another, like the Hamnet. Like the fact that I love Hamnet is just beyond me. I don't.
You're becoming an old romantic.
Mate, I don't feel things in the cinema. Like feelings.
Wait till I put you on Pride and Prejudice.
Oh my gosh! I come out of that movie, I was like, I feel moved. Wow, what a film! Like, and it's been so long since I felt like that. Going to watch a movie. Now I'm a bit more open to trying to watch more things like that, because this was such a great experience.
I think there's always value in expanding like your film repertoire,
100%.
Because like we're young, we're still growing up, like we're still understanding the world as well. So we're not going to have a knowledge of every single taste of film and TV. So it'd just be completely blind of us to turn ourselves off from a certain genre of TV or film. Yeah,
just to watch one particular.
But maybe not horror for you just yet.
Not horror. No. I watch most things, but I'm not doing it. But also, I'm still a blockbuster guy. So when Dune comes out, I'm there. When Avengers comes out, I'm there.
Don't get me wrong. I love a blockbuster film. I love it, and particularly on the IMAX as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So the cinema around here, the IMAX in Leicester Square, they'll see me. The IMAX in Waterloo.
Oh, I love the IMAX in Waterloo. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I watched the past 2 Dunes though. It was fantastic.
Third one.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah. Like I think the cinema is an experience in itself, and I think being able to go and watch with people and have conversations like this post movie, I think
it's a pleasure.
Yeah, and it's a dying form of connection, like meeting people and talking about films and discussing what you like and don't like in a space where there's no wrong answer. They're just your opinion, and you can just talk about it. You know?
I'm glad you're creating the space though, bro.
Fingers crossed, man.
Yeah.
But honestly, this as always, man, these conversations with you are a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So I'm glad you came and watched this movie with me. Like I said, it felt right to have you on, first guest of 2026.
That's right.
You're my first guest ever. Like, if I look back on that first video, I cringe. Hopefully this one will come out a lot.
Oh, so did I. I barely had my haircut.
But no, this has been super dope. Yeah, obviously we'll run this back at some point again. But
absolutely. But
yeah, cheers for coming on, man.
It's been a pleasure, man.
Okay, it's good to see you as always. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, man.
All right, cool. And we're out.